I found this today in the trash. It's a $200 guitar, and I'm gonna make it feel like a guitar 5 times the price. But the first thing we need to do is see how this one sounds. It doesn't sound bad, but we can make it sound a lot better. Let's start by taking off the strings and giving it a good bath. Wipe the guitar down with this beautiful premium polish, with this beautiful premium cleaner. I'm not sure why, but a clean guitar usually feels a lot better to play, especially when one is as dirty as this one. Alright, now it's squeaky clean. We can move on to oiling the fretboard. This thing is very dry. To oil the fingerboard, I use this Dr. Duck's Axe Wax. The Gibson Guitar Factory at one point used this. I'm not sure if they still do or if they ever did, but that is the information I got from a luthier. Make sure to keep your fingerboard oiled. This part too. Anything that's bare wood could use some oil. This is also good to clean the frets. If you haven't really done this regularly, your frets will get pretty disgusting and you'll see like black lines on the cloth. It's amazing how just cleaning up the guitar will automatically make it just sound and feel much better. Doing the simple things right will make your guitar sound way better. I've never tried these strings before. Monal strings. Whoa. Wasn't expecting that. They're silver. Exciting. This nut is not glued in. Because the nut's not glued in, I'm going to put the low and the high string on first. All the strings are on. I like to do this part slowly so nothing pops. But something could still pop. Sounds pretty cool. Okay. I'm not trying to rush it, you know, I don't want to bring the strings up to tension too quick. This guitar, it's $200. I may have been a little ambitious putting 13 gauge acoustic strings on this one, but that's all I had. Probably will end up taking some of this saddle down a little bit. I just remembered that there was something in this guitar. There's also a bunch of other disgusting stuff in here. Let me go grab the vacuum. We'll get out the trusty tuner. Now we're just 5 half steps away. I'm gonna let it rest for a little while and then try straightening out the neck. So it's the next day and the guitar is in tune. Stayed in tune overnight. It took me a little while to get it up to tune. I was a little nervous. It wouldn't go well, but everything went fine. The guitar sounds good, but the action's pretty high. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is make sure the truss rod is adjusted properly. I think it's bowed just a little bit, so let's see what we can do. First thing we'll do is loosen the truss rod just a little bit, make sure it's in a good position, and then we can tighten it. Yeah, truss rod feels good. Let's give it a tighten. Alright, probably doesn't need very much. That's pretty straight. I think we can go just a tiny bit further though. Oh yeah, instantly that feels better. I think that looks pretty good too. Have some of this coffee that I just roasted and then brewed. It's way too soon, but I can already tell I screwed it up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to sand the saddle. Alright, time to sand this thing down. Let's get this thing tuned up. Alright, Alright, we have to wait a little while for this soundboard, to kind of stabilize so it can really stay in tune. But I think this feels pretty good on the fingers. It's not super low, but it's low enough. Depending on the height, with a little bit more tension on the strings, you can pull some more sound from the guitar. I think I like where this is. It could maybe come a little bit lower, but we're gonna sacrifice some of the volume, and I wanna just play around with this and see how it sounds. Give me some time to play with it. So does this guitar actually feel like one 5 times the value? Of course, that's a subjective question. I can think of a lot of guitars in the $1,000 range that don't sound or play as good as this one. But if I went through the same process with the $1,000 guitar that I did with this one, by cleaning, oiling, adjusting, would I prefer to play the $1,000 one? Probably so. I'm also not so sure about the modal strings. They're a little cold for my taste. The 13 gauge strings sound really good on this guitar, but I imagine they'd be pretty hard to play for the casual guitar player. If you put 12s on this guitar, I think most people would be comfortable playing it. The big takeaway is that most guitars have a potential that they're not living up to. In order for them to get there, you have to do the things that I showed you in this video. You might also say, how can cleaning the guitar make you a better player or make you sound better? Being able to move around the guitar easier because it's cleaner, it might be a very subtle thing, but those subtle things can have a compounding effect. I'm also starting a guitar community with online lessons and seminars for $5 a month. Check it out on my website. I'll probably also be listing this guitar on my local Facebook marketplace. But if you're not in the New York area and you want this, let me know. I'd be happy to ship it to you. Thanks for watching. And you stay classy, San Diego.